Hi there, my name's Mike Jones, and I'm going to just spend a little bit of time explaining or telling you why I'm going to be building a dinghy. So, first the question is, why do I need a dinghy? Well, I just bought a sailboat back in September. It's a Goman Express 35. It's a boat that's going to be keeping in Godrich, and I want to try this summer, to get it up to the North Channel and do some cruising around the Benjamin Islands and Clapperton and so on. So we don't really have a proper dinghy to tow behind the boat, and I think it really adds a lot to cruising if you can have a dinghy with you that you can tow behind the boat or store on top of the boat as you're cruising. So it's real nice if you pull into an anchorage at night to hop in your dinghy and go explore places, other places that you can't get the boat. The Express 35, it's actually a shoal draft version, but it still draws 5.5 feet, and it really kind of limits to where you can get that boat into and out of. But with a dinghy, you can really explore a lot more, and it can serve as a little water taxi. So you want to go somewhere, you can row to shore and build a campfire on the shore and kind of enjoy nature a little bit more. You can, if you're anchored out somewhere, you can row and visit another boat if you're cruising with other people. And it's also, if you got a lot of people on the boat or even two of you on the boat, it can be a little escape capsule that it's kind of hard to be in a 35-foot boat with no place to kind of get away. So it's your little kind of getaway machine too. So in the past, I've had some other experiences with dinghies. Back in the 60s and early 70s, my dad, I think it was 1968 that he bought basically a CNC 31 Corvette, came out of the Morch yard in Belleville. And with a family of 6, he took us cruising up into the North Channel, and we were towing a little 8-foot dinghy around all through the North Channel, all the way up from Grand Bend and Lake Huron. And that's my first exposure to dinghies, and I can really remember as a kid, hopping into it and exploring. And it's kind of like having your own bike at home and kind of going off and exploring with a bike. But that's my first exposure, and I guess that is really one of the reasons why I think I should have a dinghy again. Yeah, have that fun again. Back when I was in high school, I actually built my first boat, and this was a mere dinghy. It's a little plywood boat. I think it was about 12 feet long, and beautiful mahogany plywood was supplied with the kit, and it was I think it was one of the first stitch and glue kits out there. And it was also my first attempt at working with, it wasn't epoxy at the time, it was polyester resins, and I wasn't all that successful with everything that I was doing with the boat, but the boat did work for a few seasons and finally succumbed to a major snow event in Grand Bend. It got crushed under a snowdrift one winter when it was stored outside. So it was kind of a sad ending. But that boat actually did serve as our tender for a couple of years. We towed it around behind the Corvette. And I can remember one summer when my brother Doug and we actually hopped into mere dinghies. I hopped into mine, and he borrowed a mere dinghy from another guy. And we took off from Tobermory and sailed out around Cove Island, and we're halfway to the Cove Island light, sort of towards Manitoulin, when the mothership, the Corvette, caught up to us, and then towed us on to Fitzwilliam Island and Rattlesnake Harbor. So, and then after that, I really didn't have a lot to do with small boats. The next boat I built, I think, was a long time later when I was married, and I got the plans for an Optimus dinghy. So it's an Optimus pram. It was a little 8-foot sailboat, but basically, my kids used it to explore the swamps and stuff up in Norway Lake, or the marshes in Norway Lake, and catch frogs and go fishing and stuff. And it really never sailed a lot, but it got a lot of use. Another boat that I built was what's called a 6-hour canoe. And I got the plans for it, and I don't know where the name 6-hour canoe came up from, but it took weeks to build this thing. And it is kind of like an open flat bottom kayak. You'd sit in the very bottom of this thing with kayak paddles and scoot around the lake, and it was a lot of fun. So after the 6-hour canoe and the Optimist, the next boat that I built was Cosine Wherry, and this is almost 16 feet, maybe 14 feet, and it was a beautiful little rowing boat. It was all cedar strip and kind of made it from scratch and had a lot of fun, and I still have that boat, and it hasn't seen the water for a few years. And I considered using it as a towing it around behind my 35, but basically it's really too big of a boat to tow around. I couldn't lift it on deck. It's really kind of heavy for that, and so I don't think it would be suitable as a tender for my boat. Another boat that I built was called the Weekend Skiff, and this is another flat bottom skiff. This is about 14 feet long. And a bunch of us, at the time I was a scout leader, and persuaded the scout troop to build some boats. So, each of the fathers kind of, we got together, and I think we built about 3 or 4 of them. And I had this one until about a year ago, and finally I gave it away. And it was a really nice rowing boat, and it had a flat bottom, so it was nice and stable. But again, it wouldn't have made a good tender for a sailboat. A few years ago, I think it was 2016, I went down to with Gerda to Chesapeake Light Craft, and we built a CLC wood duck, a double kayak. And it's a beautiful boat, about 16 feet long, and we've had a lot of fun with that. We've had it out in the Detroit River and Lake St. Clair, Lake Huron. We've car-topped it up north, and we've car-topped it down to Florida, and kind of cruised around and explored in Florida with it. So it is a lot of fun. I still have it. It's hanging up in the garage right now. But again, it's not the type of boat that's really good to serve as a what? Well, anyways, I can't tow it, and it's kind of awkward, and it really wouldn't do what we want it for. So why do I want to build one? Well, I enjoy building boats. If you haven't already noticed, I've built a few boats. I think I'm up to 5 or 6 right now. And the 2 boats that I built that I have right now, or still have, they wouldn't be good tenders. And I've thought, a lot of people are using inflatables and ribs and stuff like that now for tenders. And I thought, that'd be a lot of fun. A nice 14-foot or 10-foot boat with 9.5 on the back. You could really rip around. But, you can't row it. You can't sail it. You can go farther with it and explore with it. But, I want to try building. And I want to be able to sail, and I want a boat that I can row nicely too. And so kind of looked around a bit, and after our experience at Chesapeake Light Craft in Annapolis, I kind of looked at their inventory of other boats they have, and they've got this neat little boat called the Eastport Nesting Dinghy. Now, it looks like it's fun to build. It looks like it should be able to row pretty well, and it has sails, or you can order a sail kit with it, and you could even add a little maybe 2.5 or 2 horsepower motor on the back of it. And I think it will hold 2 of us. So right now, we're right in the middle of a pandemic. It's January 2021. We're kind of stuck in the house. We need a project. So what can we do? We can watch Netflix. We can watch YouTube. Been doing a lot of that. We can watch the news. Nothing much. It's all kind of scary news right now. We can read. I think we're going to have a project, and this looks like a good project. So we've ordered a Eastport nesting pram. Actually ordered it several months ago, and it's supposed to arrive in January, early January, and we're going to start building this. And our plan is to finish it so that we can have it this summer. And we can kind of cruise around the North Channel. So that's our plan. We'll keep you posted.